Hi, my name is Jordy Worley. I'm a freshman at Otterbein University this year, and I'm from New Philadelphia, Ohio. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and I have 2 amazing parents. And this is my story. I grew up in a Christian home. I basically lived at my church or the private school that was in my church. By the time I entered public school in 7th grade, I thought I knew everything there was to know about being a Christian. But if you would have looked at my life, you wouldn't have been able to tell I was a Christian. I was judgmental and rude towards the people around me. I didn't care about anyone but myself. At the beginning of 8th grade, my life seemed to take a turn for the worse. I felt pressured to be perfect in everything that I did, and I wanted attention from the people around me, so I began abusing my body. That summer, my twin little brothers got sick. One moment they were the healthiest 6-year-olds in the world, the next they were lying on hospital beds with pacemakers. They both have serious heart conditions. That summer I was forced to grow up very, very fast. And instead of thanking God for helping my family get through that terrible time, I got angry at Him. I became very bitter. I rebelled against my parents and God. By that point in my life, I wanted nothing to do with God. So I decided that I was going to become the author of my own life. God was in the footnotes. I decided my life was going to be how I wanted it to be. So I decided to fit in with the popular kids. I cussed and wore only designer clothing. I wanted to be accepted, so I surrounded myself with bad influences. I wanted to be loved, so I entered into relationship after relationship. I wanted a perfect future, so I decided on a major that would make me happy. My life seemed great as I wrote it myself, but something was missing. The boyfriends couldn't satisfy the longing for love in my heart. The friends couldn't fill the need for acceptance. The designer clothing couldn't hide my brokenness inside. Towards the beginning of 11th grade, I entered into a relationship. By the end of that year, I was in too deep. We had no sexual boundaries, and the relationship was harming me emotionally and physically. But most importantly, I felt further away from God than I had ever felt before. As I flipped through the pages of my story, I realized that the ending would not be a good one. There would be no happily ever after. I was failing. In my moment of weakness and despair, I handed God the pen and paper. He became the author, and I became His character. The love and acceptance I had been searching for had been there all along. The Bible stories I grew up hearing became crystal clear. Jesus, the perfect, sinless Son of God, came to earth. He lived in this crappy world and ended up dying a horrible death for me. He took my darkness and turned it into light. He took my mistakes and failures and made them disappear. Because of His death, I can now have eternal life. All I had to do to receive this amazing love was to hand Him the pen and trust Him as the author. As a result of His love, my life has changed. I don't cuss anymore, and I don't try to fit in. I broke up with that boyfriend. I changed my major to a God-centered career. It wasn't easy giving up the comforts of this world, but now God is in control. Much like any character in any story, I still fail daily. I struggle with depression and guilt about my past. I have to work hard to stay pure and honor God through my body. But now, no matter what I do, I know that I have an author who will love me regardless. He knows my story, title page to credits, and He knows that in the end, I will live happily ever after with Him.